on the video.
A last-ditch attempt to avert a nationwide strike finally yields results after a 6-hour-long meeting between the federal government and labor unions in the country. But the federal government was only given a 30-day respite to commence the implementation of more than a dozen agreements reached with organized labor or prepare for another industrial action. Among other resolutions reached at the meeting between labor and the government is an agreement to pay 35,000 naira provisional wage increment for federal workers till a new minimum wage is agreed.
Federal government suspends collection of value-added tax (VAT) on diesel for 6 months beginning from October 2023. 4. Federal government accepts to vote 100 billion for the provision of high-capacity buses for mass transit in Nigeria. 5. The federal government plans to implement various tax incentive measures for private sector and the general public.
We've had very painstaking and meticulous deliberations, but what is important here is Nigeria, and all of us are committed to ensuring that this country remains united, peaceful, and prosperous.
For the labor unions, they seem to still be holding the federal government by the jugular, as they refused to completely vacate the threat of an industrial action. They know time is of the essence as the 30-day countdown begins.
After 30 days, if these issues are not implemented, we'll revisit all the issues.
We have a signed agreement, and we have signed this agreement with the belief that government will act in utmost good faith. We signed this agreement with the belief that every single item in this agreement are implementable. Every single item in this agreement, we are extremely serious about them, and we wish to also reiterate that we are expecting 100% implementation and not a 99%.
This dispute between the federal government and labor unions, caused by the removal of fuel subsidy, has lingered since the start of President Bola Tinubu's administration. But with the fresh ultimatum from the labor unions, pressure will continue to pile on government, as Nigerians also hope to directly feel the impact of agreements reached and signed.
Julie, I think it's a good thing for the Nigerian Labour Congress to actually shed that industrial action and putting that proviso that if after 30 days, the things that they put in place, they've agreed on, that are not implemented, that they might have to review it and resume the strike. Because I've noticed on the part of federal government, not this particular administration, but previous administration, what they have a kind of penchant from getting into agreement with trade union, and after some time they will renege. So this 30 days is to keep them in check.
Yes, it's a good thing. We want good governance, and I believe that labor is on course to helping us to achieve good governance. It's about what you can extract from your employer. It's not about how much insult you can dish out. Sit down, iron out issues, and definitely you'll be able to achieve so much. Remember when Ajero and others were walking out of meetings, were saying we will never return to meet with these people again. Now you can see the value of sitting down together. We asked for it here.
Jojo.
We are patriots. We said, call these people, meet with them. Don't allow the strike to take place. There's no responsible government that will allow a strike to happen in a difficult time like this when there's so much tension in the land. If you allow that to happen, you are risking another NSAS-styled protests that can get violent at any time. People are hungry. So they need only the slightest trigger to cause them to resort to violence. So it was a good thing that government called these people, and it's another good thing that Labour also realized the value of engagement, the value of allowing dialogue rather than using their ultimate weapon. You know? So that time, remember that time when they said, no, we are not meeting, we will never meet with them again, and TUC went and held meeting with them, only for Ajero and others to run back to go and meet with the federal government, seeing that TUC was trying to steal their thunder. They quickly went back. Now, even after they announced that, look, we are not going to have any meeting with them, the president intervened, they went back to do that meeting. Remember, they stayed away from one particular meeting. And we said, look, Mr. President, intervene. Intervene. Because I was sure that if he intervened, they would respect him. They would take his word seriously. And the president intervened, summoned them, and they went for the meeting. And at the end of the day, Labour represented workers very well. You got to give them credit for that. They represented workers and the generality of Nigerians. Because when some of these demands are met, it's not Labour alone that will benefit from it. For example, 55,000 CNG conversion kits, to kickstart the conversion program from gasoline-fired engines to CNG-fired engines. And they are going to build state-of-the-art CNG stations, just like filling stations across the country. There is no way that Labour alone will benefit from that if that happens. Other Nigerians will be able to take advantage of it. So they represented the Nigerians well. And Labour pushed that 100 billion naira has to be set aside to acquire high-capacity buses, CNG buses for mass transit. There is no way all of this money will be set aside for this scheme, and it will not affect, positively affect Nigerians. I think that at the end of the day, good governance will prevail. I want to see government pay the outstanding money owed what's it called, ASU. It will be a fantastic measure of goodwill for government to go ahead and pay that money. I know that Ashwaju will not fail to do that. So it's up to the NLC to also continue to push for that. I know that it was among their demands. So it will be a good thing to see government look in that direction and try to put that problem to bed.
Yeah. So when you look at the end of the day, they were meant to go on strike today, but thank God it's still dialogue. Georgia better than war.
Yeah, whatever you do, even if you go to war, you will still come to the table to dialogue. So we must salute both the government and the labor union. But for me, this is a good reprieve time for the government. It is now on the part of the government to prove that the 30 days that you have given us, we are really going to work on it. Because with all the things that have been listed out, if the government on its own side begins to delay and the 30-day comes and nothing is done, then the labor will come back again and say that we have told you people. It is good that they all listen to the voice of reason, because we cannot afford to have anything like a strike at this time when the economy is in such a prostrate situation. But also, whatever the government has done, I don't believe that money is the issue. or throwing money into a problem is the issue. We've had a lot of that in this country. We know how many billions have been voted for the turnaround maintenance or refurbishing or whatever of the refineries. What has happened to that? So government has voted 100 billion to buy high-impact buses and all that. It must be monitored. We received that with some cautious optimism because we have seen it happen before. You will hear that a lot of money has been budgeted, a lot of money has been put into this. At the end of the day, we will not see any result. So the government on its own part must take a break from what has been happening in the past. Because what has been happening in the past is that when things like this happen, you will hear that, oh, we have budgeted this, we have done that. 2-3 months down the line, you find out that nothing has happened. So government must show that, look, at this time around, this is the new sheriff is in town. We must do things according to what we plan that we are going to do. It is not the business, it is not the fault of government most times, but its own fault is that you don't monitor when you give people assignment. We must make sure that this money is well spent. Labor, 30 days, they will be, your time begins now. That is what is happening. They've started counting. And so government must show them that this is a government that means what it says.
Yes. Ultimately on this, when you want to look at it, as Jika said, I don't think the state of the economy now that we can afford to go on any kind of indefinite strike. It will compound the fragile state of our economy.
Yes, that's why all along we demanded that government must engage them. And I'm happy the matter of minimum wage, they've now set timeline. You know, we were talking about timelines here. That for all of those promises that you made, attach timelines to them. Now, they've attached timelines to these issues, especially the matter of a new minimum wage. They said, okay, within the 30 days, a committee must be set up. Because we said, why has it taken this long? Mr. President was even the first to talk about a new minimum wage. When governors met him, that was his first meeting with governors. He said, this is the time for us to give the people a living wage. That means he realized it. But nothing concrete happened. Promises were made after the fake meeting. Different governors spoke. The governor of Abia spoke. The governor of Katsina spoke. Different governors spoke about what they plan to do, but we didn't see machinery put in motion. That sort of thing can get labor really disillusioned and angry. So now we are seeing timelines. We will be able to monitor progress given the timelines that have been set for these deliverables. For example, we know that minimum wage, you can debate minimum wage for up to 6 months before you agree. But you have to start. You have to start. And this money that the president has awarded, 35,000, would be paid until a new minimum wage is agreed upon by the tripartite, until a tripartite agreement is reached on a new minimum wage. Private sector is involved. The federal government will represent the sovereign, will represent the country, you know, and then of course labor too. They will be involved. So those three will come together and they will give us a minimum wage. I'm happy now. They said, okay, this committee, within 30 days, you set it up. That's what we didn't have before. So these meetings are of tremendous value. Everybody will understand one another. They will know that they are all singing from the same hymn book. I want to see Nigerians be able to convert their engines from the expensive gasoline-fired engines to the CNG, which in today's world translate to just about 150 naira per liter. If I can buy fuel at 150 naira per liter, compare it to over 600 naira. So that is the, for me, those are the good takeaways that we have from this meeting. We thank the president. It's shown that he's a listening president. We thank him for these measures. These are good measures taken, and Labour too. We have to commend them for staying the course and achieving something without necessarily resorting to a strike.
All right, moving on now. It's Judgment Day for most governors in Nigeria regarding outcome of elections that brought them to office. In Adamawa State, the Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Yola affirmed the election of Governor Amadu Fintiri of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The chairman of the three-man tribunal, Justice Theodora Oloho, dismissed the petition filed by the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Umar Ado, for lack of merit. It was mixed fortunes for his Nasara counterpart, that Abdullahi Sule. The Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Lafia sacked Governor Sule and declared David Ombugadu of the People's Democratic Party as the duly elected governor. In a split judgment, 2 of the 3 judges agreed that the election was won by the PDP, while others dissented. Let's share the story from TVC News. Godwin Agban with you.
It's a D-Day for the judgment of the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal holding in Lafia. Leaders of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, alongside their lawyers, make their way into the premises of the tribunal. Delivering each judgment via Zoom, the tribunal declares David Umbugadu as the winner of the March 18 governorship election. It held that Mr. Umbugadu scored the highest lawful votes cast at the polls.
And the tribunal came to an irresistible conclusion that based on the polling unit results, where elections held successfully, collated successfully, but were wrongly entered into the ward result from EC8B. Taking a look at all the results from the polling unit, there is no doubt that Honorable Umbugadu won the election by the majority of lawful vote cast at the election and was declared by the tribunal.
But 1 out of the 3-member panel gave a dissenting judgment and dismissed the petition filed by the PDP for lacking in merit.
The dissenting judgment held that the governor of Nasarawa State, who is the second respondent, Engineer A.A. Sule, is the winner of the March 18, 2023 governorship election, and that he won with 3,799 valid votes.
Chairmen of both political parties aired their views on the outcome of the judgments.
We have held back to principle instead of any kind of material reward or inducement that is going on everywhere in this country. We want to appreciate them, that they will be honored and their children shall reap from what they have done. Their grandchildren shall reap from what they have done for upholding the truth, at least for once in this state.
The tribunal in split judgment 2-1 have given PDP the 2 judges, but the dissenting judgment was rooted because it has explained everything.
The APC and Governor Sule are currently considering an appeal against the judgment of the tribunal. Godwin Agwa, TVC News, Lafia.
Interesting there, Jide. The People's Democratic Party and the APC slugging it out. And that's Nasarawa State. Split judgment. 2-1.
Yes.
At the tribunal level.
The chairman of the tribunal and member 1 both agree that the PDP governorship candidate won the election and proceeded to decline. But the 3rd member said that the petition was without merit and duly dismissed it. What happened in Adama is a case of subtraction and addition. In Ashige ward, there was overvoting. There are 36 polling units. There was overvoting only one of the 36 polling units. And for that reason, the entire 36 polling unit result was cancelled. And the chairman of the tribunal affirmed that it was wrong to have cancelled all the 36. Since it's only one polling unit that they had issues with, he then decided, yes, he decided to bring back the results from the 35 remaining units, which was to the advantage of the PDP candidate.
Anyway, Umar Ado was never in the race.
No, I'm even talking about. Nasarawa.
Okay.
I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm not on Adamawa yet. So, you know, the election was very competitive in Adamawa. I mean, in Nasarawa State. Then the National Assembly elections, we saw a lot of surprises with the SDP even winning 2 senatorial seats, you know, and Labour also doing well in the presidential election. But it came to the governorship election, the governor was declared winner. But there was a lot of protest. Women even stripped themselves naked. So those videos were all over the place. So I knew that anything could happen at the tribunal. So what the judge said was that the candidate of the PDP provided result sheets from polling unit to polling unit across the state to prove that here I was the one who won here. This was what they took away from me here. That was what we said Obi refused to do, because Obi simply didn't have evidence. Having a bunch of noisemakers on social media is not how to win election petition. No. You can create a wall of noise, like supporters of big football clubs in England. Liverpool. No, football clubs, they fear to go to Anfield because of the wall of noise. Some of them, even Postcoast, one of the Manchester United players said sometimes as you are coming out of the dressing room, you are coming onto the field, the noise will terrify you. And Liverpool supporters are extremely notorious. So I'm saying that wall of noise, you can bring it to social media. It will not win election petition for you. Bring your facts. Polling unit by polling unit. Now, at the end of the day, where you insist that you defeated the opponent, provide proof that you defeated the opponent. Where they took away your votes and reassigned to the opponent, provide proof. At the end of the day, the judges will look in your direction given the evidence that you have. We saw Aregbesola do that in Osun. We saw even Mimeko
in Ondo.
In Ondo. That's what Obi could have done. Obi did not do that. This is a fact. They should provide evidence where Obi did that. So I'm seeing evidence that if you provide sufficient proof, the judges have no choice. I don't know what will happen at the level of appeal. Perhaps the APC, the lawyers to the APC will be able to prove that no, there was miscarriage of justice here. No one can say that. We are not preempting what will happen there, you know, because we are not lawyers and we were not at the tribunal. But first and foremost, you must have your evidence. All right. Not to go and sit on social media and be spewing nonsense.
Okay, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more.
We are passionate about two things in Nigeria. The first is football. The second is our rice. And nobody celebrates like a Nigerian. So, for every goal scored, every mark made, you can be sure to always come back home to rice. Celebrate with Nigerian Premium Big Bull Rice, homegrown just like you. Big Bull Rice, tasty rice, nourished you. We are passionate about two things in Nigeria. The first is football. The second is our rice. And nobody celebrates like a Nigerian. So, for every goal scored, every mark made, you can be sure to always come back home to rice. Celebrate with Nigerian Premium Big Bull Rice, homegrown just like you. Big Bull Rice, tasty rice, nourished you.
Heading home from work, in the busy traffic, your car breaks down. Car horns blast. Your car is pushed aside. You call for help. Phone battery blinks and dies. You take a cab. Few miles, tire bursts. What a day. Frustrated, sweating, and tired. Nearing home, darkness envelops the street. Wow! Just one house is bubbling with life. Brilliant lights, loud music, smiling wife, all welcome you.
We alone have light?
Yes, it's JRB Solar Energy Systems, my anniversary present to us.
No matter how dark life is, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. JRB, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do.
So here's the thing. Why do you do what you do? Is it because it's what you want to do? Or it's what other people expect you to do? The most important thing is to take a step every day in the direction of where you want to be. It means you're not where you want to be, but you're on the way there. Take your own bold steps with 9 Mobile.
Dial *301# to choose a data plan that works for you.
9 Mobile.
Thank you for staying with us. Still at the governorship tribunal, sitting the one that nullified the election of Governor Sule. Now, it was something that when you look at the pattern of the election and the dynamics before the election, you will know that, look, the governor might not be sitting pretty. So the tribunal has given its verdict now.
Yes, just as BKO said, the PDP in Nasarawa State had its evidence, or what is called its evidence, and it was able to provide it at the tribunal. This is what is expected in all elections. Now, those who have been hammering on the fact that this candidate won or that candidate win, or won that and so on, what, as we said some time ago, what are they going to say now? Your candidate has been declared as the winner in this state. You now say, oh, the judiciary is independent, is this, is that.
Last hope of the...
You go to another level, your candidate is declared as not winning the race there. Then you come and you begin to abuse the judiciary. So, win some, you lose some. What is important is for you to come to the tribunal with your evidence. In this case, they were able to provide that, look, in these places, we want this. This was our votes. This is the results paper, and this is what was declared. And the tribunal considered that and gave its judgment. This is what we expect the other lawyers to do at all levels of the cases. It is now left for the lawyers of the APC now to go to the appeal and say that, look, there was miscarriage of justice because this evidence that were provided is not true, or this is what we have. So we must always have a way to not to be absolute in our condemnation. In fact, that is the only thing I have with the kind of politics we are playing now. If a judgment favors me, I've said that before, it's like you are in a student. A student gets 70%. Oh, what did you get? Oh, I got 70. He got 30%, you say, I was given.
He gave me 30.
Exactly. So now we must...
We won't admit that it's a weak...
Exactly. So we must look at all these things. You win some and you lose some. That is the issue. And you come to the judges or to the bench with your evidence. If your evidence are sacrosanct, I don't think there's any judge that will want to throw away your evidence. So what we all expect now is that, okay, this has gone this way. What about the other ones? Let us look at what will happen. Don't blame the judges. Blame your lawyer.
Yes.
It is the game of the lawyer in the court. The court is not a Father Christmas. The court will not give you what you don't ask for or what you don't present. Even if a judge knows that your case is right, but you don't present those evidence, there's no way he can help you. So in all this, we hope that as the judgment comes, we will all take it on with philosophical calmness and begin to prepare for the next election.
In today's Nigeria, when the judgment is in your favor, you praise the judges to high heavens. When it doesn't favor you, you call them names.
You condemn.
You say they've been bribed. You say all kinds of. You say the judiciary in Nigeria is useless. But in this same country, the judiciary gave justice to Rotimi Amechi beyond what he even asked for.
Yeah, 2007.
Beyond what he asked for, they gave it to him. Rotimi then showed complete disrespect to the judiciary when he became governor and wanted to impose a chief judge over and above the NJC. The same old man who gave you your victory after Obasanjo shunted you aside. He locked the judiciary for about a year.
Yeah.
But by the time he left office, Wike became governor. The same chief judge that the NJC preferred, Wike made him chief judge. Rotimi clearly had forgotten what they did for him. Today, some of the people abusing the judiciary, they've forgotten that Peter Obi was rigged out of the governorship election.
It was the same judiciary.
In Anambra State. And the judiciary restored him to that position. What Peter thought would happen was that, okay, we just serve out the remaining years of the usurper's term. They said, no.
You must begin.
It begins to count. It was a major contribution to jurisprudence in our country. That was a landmark case. And today, if you win through the courts, they start counting from the day you were sworn in.
To the oath of office.
Yes.
That's why we have all these off-season election and so on.
Yes. You know? So today, those guys, some of them were in their diapers when Peter Obi won through the courts. Today, they are calling the judges all kinds of names. Today, they are threatening children of judges, posting addresses of their boutiques, of all kinds of things. They've forgotten that their hero, their little god, was a beneficiary of solid judicial pronouncement. So this is the thing. In the case of Adama, because we've not touched Adama, the SDP candidate, who in any case could not have won the election, his matter was dismissed because the judges said he didn't provide evidence. The lawyers did a shoddy job of even lumping the issues together and all that. So if people fail to do due diligence and they come before a court, the outcome is predictable. That's the way it should be. You can have all the money in the world. If you don't do that job of proving that you won, the judges will not do it for you, even if they like your face, because they can't do what they cannot defend. So I'm happy on Bugado and others, they say, the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. I hope if for any reason
it goes the other
at the appeal. He will not take back what he has said. He won't start abusing the judiciary, because that's how our people behave. It is only when it favors you that you think the judiciary has good people. Look now, this one, it was 4 hours judgment.
Yeah.
It means that proceeding from what happened during the presidential elections court, they are now taking their time to provide this explanation.
Complete explanation,
their decisions. It's no longer, we just read one shilly-shally judgment and walk away. No, they laid the basics. Look at Lagos, see how many hours it took. That's why people like Jando were like people who are not even part of the race. You know? Jando, can you say Jando was part of that election? He was an anonymous. It's like a footballer on the field. But the ball doesn't even get to where he is. He's walking around. Nobody is passing to him. Perhaps because they think that even if they pass to him,
he may not make a difference.
He won't use the ball wisely. That's the way it is. We are expecting him to still appeal. But that's an anonymous candidate in the governorship election in Lagos State.
All right, and finally, the controversy over academic records of President Bola Tinubu in the United States has been laid to rest, but the battles rages on. The Chicago State University has released the academic records of President Bola Tinubu following requests by the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the 2023 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar. In response to Atiku's request, the university authenticated the certificates presented by President Tinubu. Judy, what's the meaning of this?
Exactly what Atiku wanted. Give me his papers, including transcripts and all that, we've given to him. Prove to me that the diploma certificate that he gave to INEC, prove to me that it is genuine. I want to see evidence that the fonts used, are consistent with the fonts used in the original. Provide some of the samples of the diplomas that you awarded at the same time. Provide samples so that I can check and affirm that the fonts are consistent with the fonts of the diploma certificate, that Tinubu submitted to INEC. Because when I was preparing for issues with Jide about 2 weeks ago, I specifically went to look for what he wanted the court to give him. And he detailed it. Show me that the fonts on the certificate or that diploma certificate are consistent with the one that he filed with the INEC. His goal is to prove that that diploma was not issued by the school And for that reason, Tinubu should be disqualified for alleged forgery, perjury, and the rest. One of the big takeaways from this list of documents and all that is that the school affirmed and provided evidence that the funds were consistent with the funds on the 1979 diploma certificate that the university issued. So even if Atiku wanted to go before the Supreme Court to say this man lied under oath, this man is guilty of perjury, he will not be able to do that with that diploma because the school has clearly shown that that certificate emanated from them. Yes, they said they could not find his own, but the school also said they don't usually keep copies of diploma certificates of students. But they were able to find some, and they provided those ones, although they will not show the names of the, but you see that the fonts, everything is consistent. It is the person, it is up to Atiku to move ahead in spite of what has been provided him to still show that indeed that document is fake. We've had that Ashwaju used a woman's, that it was using a woman's name just because of what clearly was a clerical error. You know, these children will sit on any little thing and begin to make all kinds of noise. But another big takeaway from the documents released is that Tinubu's what's it called? When you are given admission letter. His admission letter read Mr. So you cannot say that it's a woman who passed through that school using Tinubu's name. His admission letter read Mr., meaning that his gender was clear to the school and that he was in school as a man. We've seen people who even went to court to swear on oath that, look, we were mates in school, he was a man, we graduated together and all that. We've seen at least 2 persons now. So lawyers have said, Atiku, this is not beneficial to Atiku in court. Whatever he was looking for, even if he was looking for smoking gun, to show that Tinubu was a serial forger, Tinubu, dishonest individual and all that, whatever it is that he was looking for will not be beneficial to him in court. It is in extremely rare cases that the Supreme Court will accept what was not pleaded in the lower court. Those old men don't have that time. Their duty is to determine that the lower court, whether it erred in law or it did not err in law, that's their own duty. Their duty is not to be perusing fact or listening to witnesses and all that. That job had been done at the lower court. So their own is just to determine whether in giving their judgment they erred in law. So I don't know why Atiku's lawyers are doing all this.
Okay, let me ask Inka, because the proof was something behind the mind of the lawyers or Atiku himself. What does he want to achieve?
Well, at least one thing is very clear now. He graduated from CSU. That is clear.
Yes.
For me, what I see there is the level of journalism that we practice in the country. As a journalist and teacher of journalism, it worries me. One, if you read 24 newspapers, either online or listen to radio or TV, you are likely to get 24 different interpretations. So it becomes a question when students now ask, sir, which is the truth? What exactly is the issue here? Because even online, you see various types of certificates that have been attributed to one single person. If you go to 24 websites, you will see different. So which one is the truth now? This one will claim, yes, this is what we got from the Chicago State University. Another one is claiming the same thing. What exactly is the truth? And for me, that tells a lot about the kind of country we are. Is it that we are unable to discern what is the truth, or we decide to color it from our own perspective? And as a colleague once said, he looks funny, he said, the president might be having fun at the expense of all those who are claiming all this. Because we have had some people who are teachers abroad, who are university lecturers abroad, who have made their own personal investigation. And they even told you that if you want to certify this, I think he said you pay $25 or thereabout to the university to certify all that. Now, where do we go from here? What does it benefit anybody? All we want to prove now is that, okay, maybe they want to say, oh, the president lied, and therefore he's not fit to be president. The university has come out to say he graduated from that school. Yes. Now, is he a man? Is he a woman? Is it that? It is what? As of 1979, I want to be corrected. Is there any university or any school in the world that identifies a certificate and say male or female? Is there any? There's no. It is of recent that gender has become, and even photograph has become part of certificates. Yes. So when people begin to argue that, okay, it was a Mr. or MS, whatever that was given a certificate, I also get confused and ask myself, what is the issue that we are arguing about now? The first thing was he never graduated from there, he never went there. The school has said he graduated from there. Are we saying the school will want to sacrifice its reputation and integrity for just one single man, for an individual? So
they didn't even do that for the US president.
So it's even as bad as Nigerians have been going online. They've been going to that.
Even abusing the school.
Yes,
abusing the school
to bring down the name of Chicago State University.
Is the level to which their hatred for Tinubu is driving them. You know, these are people that if they subject them to the same kind of quiz that they gave those Big Brother people, they will fail. They can't argue rationally. You see clearly that they don't read. Imagine someone saying, how come he spent only 2 years to bag a BSc? You are a thoroughly ignorant person. You don't know the modules that they use in the US. You do not know. And I've said, my own mom did not spend 2 full years to bag a first degree and a master's in literature. I mean, it's there. And I still remember some of our friends that they traveled together on government scholarship back then, Ohio State University. So what? If you don't know something, you ask. In America, you don't need a school certificate to get into a university. If you can pass their aptitude test, their system is that flexible. They will let you a 4-year course. If you can do it in 1.5 years, they will load you. My mom was telling me that you are finishing a major exam, you discover that in 30 minutes, they are calling you for another one. Maybe if you want to finish quickly and go back to your country. So they will load you. They will make sure that you work extremely hard to cover that period. What some people do in 4 years, they'll make
you know
in 2 years. So you don't know these things and you are not prepared to ask questions. It is in Nigeria that every individual on social media has an opinion on issues that they know next to nothing about. It is in Nigeria that people who are trained in fields that are completely alien to journalism, sit in studios and begin to even pontificate and train journalists.
I'm telling you.
So the rest of us who have spent more than 20 years, we've suffered, we've taken risks, we are fools. You will sit down in one place, you don't know Nigeria, you've not gone anywhere, you've never done a documentary, you've never added to the body of journalistic knowledge. You now claim that you are better than us, that you know so much. What you don't know. You do a lot of ignorance peddling, and you see yourself as a superstar. Come on.
We have to leave there.
You know, it was because of that at one point that many people in the 70s, 80s don't like going to the US because that time. But now, things have changed. So, I mean, whether you...
We have to leave there.
I mean, so whether you go there or not, it doesn't count.
Olayinka Oyegbile, thank you for your contribution. And BK, thank you for always being there. Thanks. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. And don't forget to catch us on Journalistic Hangout on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubaku. See you tomorrow.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Are you worried about the safety and security of your home at night? Do you wish to know when intruders come close to your home? Or do you want to protect what matters to your family from anywhere at any time? What if there was a convenient, affordable way to keep surveillance in your home without having to worry about wires, installations, or heavy light bills? Introducing the incredible Sidebulb HD Cam, the robotic 360-degree two-way torque camera with action tracking technology. Sidebulb is the ultimate solution for discreet and powerful surveillance. It's so easy to install, and the app lets you rotate and view the video from your Sidebulb in real time from any smartphone. You can drop in from anywhere and check in with our two-way talk technology. Talk and listen at the same time.
Hello, Mommy.
Hey,